friends, it's Latoya McBean Pompey. I'm in my office. It's Monday night. Everybody is gone and I'm here finishing up my workload for the day, and I just wanted to stop by and talk with you guys about consular processing and also about what's happening this week. Some exciting things are happening this week with Smart Immigration Academy and a webinar that I have on Wednesday. But firstly, before I dive into all of that, I want to say that a lot of changes are happening on the consular level, friends. Our government is going through a lot of processes to do some extreme vetting of applicants, okay, and running more people through really intense security processes, okay, and more people are being denied these days for misrepresentation and for some other reasons. But I came across a really interesting data tonight as I was here doing my research, and I found that in 2018, the Department of State denied 460,000 people who had applied for an immigrant visa. Okay, and 48% of those people were ultimately able to overcome those reasons for the denial. So 48% did get through ultimately, but then for those who had applied for a non-immigrant visa, like the visitor's visa, right? 3.7 million, yes, 3.7 million people were found ineligible in 2018, but then 21% of them ultimately did overcome it by either submitting additional documents or whatever the government had required of them, whether it was a waiver, but the people did ultimately get through. 21% of them did. So that's a lot of people, right? That's a big number. And so you've heard me talk about, maybe you haven't heard me talk too much about this, that the fact that public charge on the Department of State level has also, more and more people are being denied on public charge grounds on the Department of State side. So one data that we do know is that about 1,000 and so people were denied on public charge grounds in 2016. And then in 28, jumped to last year, through July of last year, 12,000, more than 12,000 friends were denied. And so huge spike in denials with regard to public charge. So let's do this. Why am I before you now? It's not just to share that number, it's to also tell you that it's so important that you prepare for your immigrant visa interview, because the times have really changed and our government's level of scrutiny has gotten so much more intense, and people are being denied more on the embassy level. So I want you guys to be prepared. If you're facing an interview or if your relative is facing an interview, you guys need to really prepare yourself. And so this week in Smart Immigration Academy, tomorrow night actually, I'm going to be speaking with our group in our private Facebook group about what's happening on the consular level, and then I'm going to dive into some live Q&As. And then on Wednesday, friends, this is open to everyone, members and non-members. On Wednesday night, I'm going to do a webinar on how to prepare for the immigrant visa interview so that you can get your visa, right? And so on Wednesday night, I'm going to talk about issues related to the common questions that people are, generally facing, but also I'm going to touch on the questions around public charge that people are now encountering at the embassy interview. I'm going to talk about social media. I'm going to talk about all these other security issues that come up during the interview, as well as talk about a bonus topic actually is around administrative processing, because we're seeing more people being placed or denied for administrative processing, and that is a painful process, believe me, for many people, because they're then put in what seems like a black hole, okay, and they're just waiting. And for some people, they could wait for years for an answer from the government. And so we're going to talk about administrative processing and what you should do if you're placed in administrative processing at your interview. If they tell you, listen, we're going to put you in administrative processing, and they may not even tell you, most likely they will not tell you the reason why. And so we're going to talk about that and the additional security check and intelligence gathering that the government is doing on people these days. So it's going to be a great time. It's a 1-hour webinar. Sign up for it or register for your relative so that he or she can be part of it. And there will also be a live Q&A session at the end of the webinar as well. So they should also come prepared with their questions. And so friends, thank you guys. This is such an exciting week, but this is the week of consular processing for us here. And there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to share. I want you guys to stay plugged in. And for those of you who are watching me from work, I get your emails and I'm so thankful that you're watching me. I got this one email today from someone who says he watches me every night at work. And so shout out to you. You know exactly who you are. And shout out to all of you guys for staying plugged in and for supporting this work. Be sure to share it with someone, because if you're a US citizen watching this, or if you're a green card holder watching this, I'm pretty sure you know someone who needs this information. You know someone on the outside of America trying to get in, and you know people here in America who are also trying to stay here. And so share this material with them, and be a blessing to them. Friends, I'm gonna get out of here. It was such a pleasure. Have a good night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.